Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever time of day it is and whatever part of the world you're at. Welcome back and thanks for joining me for another short lesson today. Today's lesson, we're going to discuss adding integers. Okay, and just in case you forgot what integers are positive and negative whole numbers. So they're just whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they could also have negative signs in front of them. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. All right. Now, a couple things to remember about adding. When adding positives, if you're thinking about it to visualize it, you move to the right, or you could be moving up. You're not doing both. You pick one. Either you move right or you move up when you add positives. Now, a negative is a way to express the opposite of something, okay? The negative is just that little minus sign. So adding negatives actually do the opposite. Adding negatives move left or they move down. So if you chose to move right when you were adding positives, then obviously if you add negatives, you would be moving to the left. But if you chose to move up when you were adding positives, then you would be doing the opposite of moving up, which is moving down when you add negatives. Now, let's take a look at these examples here. Number 1 reads, calculate -5 plus -3. Well, the rule for when the signs are the same is that you add and you keep the sign the same. So -5 and -3, obviously they're both negative. So I would add them first because their signs are the same. 5 plus 3 is 8. Therefore, -5 plus -3 is going to equal -8. Remember, we keep the sign the same. If both of them are negatives, then the answer is going to be negative when you add, okay? Now, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 reads, calculate 4 plus -9. Well, when the signs are different, you subtract and you keep the sign of the larger number. The 4 is positive and the 9 is negative. So the first thing we want to do, because their signs are different, is subtract. If we do 9 minus 4, that equals 5. However, we have to keep the sign of the larger number. The larger number is the -9. So our final answer for 4 plus -9 is equal to -5. Okay, -5 because we're keeping the sign of the larger number. All right. Now, like before, we have the try these section. You can pause the video here and then resume when you're ready to check your answers. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on in, okay? So let's take a look. Number 3. It reads +6 plus -6. These are different signs. So remember, the rule is that different signs, when the signs are different, we subtract and keep the sign of the larger number, all right? Well, 6 minus 6 is 0. And since both of them are the same value, the answer is just going to be 0. So we would just say +6 plus -6 equals 0. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 reads -10 plus 7. Once again, we have different signs. So different signs mean to subtract. And when we subtract, we keep the sign of the larger. That's an important thing to remember when we're adding negatives and positives. Now, the first thing, like we said, we want to subtract. So 10 minus 7 is 3. Now, the larger number is negative. So our final answer for -10 plus 7 is going to equal -3. Number 5. Number 5 reads -2 plus -4. Well, -2 plus -4, both of the signs are the same. So same signs mean add. Same signs mean that we add. So if we add 2 plus 4, that equals 6. But we have to remember we keep the sign the same. So -2 plus -4 equals -6. And I'm going to throw one more example in there real quick. We're going to take a look at -5 plus 11. Okay. So here, once again, we have different signs, right? Different signs mean that we subtract. So we would do 11 minus 5, which equals 6. However, we have to keep the sign of the larger number. Now, in this one, the larger number is positive. So we know that -5 plus +11 would equal +6. Okay. All right, that'll conclude the video. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.